Sorry about the delay, guys. How's everybody doing? Let me know how the music volume is, please, Scott. Katrina, I was just thinking about you. I'm glad you're here. Any news yet? Ah, tripped over my lips there. Any news? I can't talk tonight. Welcome to those just coming. Oops, I had the other stream muted. Welcome to those just coming in. God bless you. Okay, good. Glad to hear. So So tonight we will be starting in Leviticus chapter 10. And just check my settings here, make sure everything is kosher, and then we will get going. I was creating a whole bunch of stuff. I dropped Kenneth off for D&D at 5, and then I had 2 hours to prepare for the stream before going to get him, and then getting back here, and that all took a little bit longer than expected. I was having a little bit too much fun. But sorry about that. I didn't mean to be late. Okay. Just getting things fixed up behind the scenes here. Okay. Almost done. Oh, quite a few people here already. How are you guys doing tonight? If anybody needs prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm just getting all the settings figured out, and then we will get going. Carla, yay! How are you? Did you see the mouse pads? I wasn't sure what direction you were wanting me to take with those, but I threw a few together. Let me know if there's a certain color or style you're wanting, and I will make it happen. Oh, good. Okay. All right, I'm going to take down the starting shortly and get rid of my little boho chick here. All right. If anybody needs prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. Oh, hi! Is your name Nyana? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but welcome. My name is Katie. A lot of people call me Mama Church. Okay. And we are in Leviticus chapter 10. Now Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took their respective fire pans, and after putting fire in them, placed incense on it and offered strange fire before the Lord, which he had not commanded them. And fire came out from the presence of the Lord and consumed them, and they died before the Lord. Then Moses said to Aaron, "It is what the Lord spoke, saying, 'By those who come near me I will be treated as holy, and before all the people I will be honored.' So Aaron therefore kept silent. Moses called also to Mishael, excuse me, and Elzaphan, the sons of Aaron's uncle Uziel, and said to them, 'Come forward, carry your relatives away from the front of the sanctuary to the outside of the camp.' So they came forward and carried them still in their tunics to the outside of the camp, as Moses had said. Then Moses said to Aaron and to his sons Eleazar and Ithamar, 'Do not uncover your heads nor tear your clothes, so that you will not die, and that he will not become wrathful against all the congregation. But your kinsmen, the whole house of Israel, shall bewail the burning which the Lord has brought about. You shall not even go out from the doorway of the tent of meeting, or you will die, for the Lord's anointing oil is upon you.' So they did according to the word of Moses. The Lord then spoke to Aaron, saying, 'Do not drink wine or strong drink, neither you nor your sons with you, when you come into the tent of meeting, so that you will not die. It is a perpetual statute throughout your generations, and so as to make a distinction between the holy and the profane, and between the unclean and the clean, and so as to teach the sons of Israel all the statutes which the Lord has spoken to them through Moses.'" Hi, Al. Welcome. How are you doing tonight? Sure. How can I pray for you, Niana? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right still. Then Moses spoke to Aaron and to his surviving sons Eleazar and Ithamar, "Take the grain offering that is left over from the Lord's offerings by fire and eat it unleavened beside the altar, for it is most holy. You shall eat it, moreover, in a holy place, because it is your due and your sons' due out of the Lord's offerings by fire. For thus I have been commanded. The breast of the wave offering, however, and the thigh of the offering you may eat in a clean place, you and your sons and your daughters with you. For they have been given as your due and your sons' due out of the sacrifices of the peace offerings of the sons of Israel. The thigh offered by lifting up and the breast offered by waving they shall bring along with the offerings by fire of the portions of fat to present as a wave offering before the Lord. So it shall be a thing perpetually, do you and your sons with you, just as the Lord has commanded." But Moses searched carefully for the goat of the sin offering, and behold, it had been burned up. So he was angry with Aaron's surviving sons Eleazar and Ithamar, saying, "Why did you not eat the sin offering at the holy place? For it is most holy, and he gave it to you to bear away the guilt of the congregation, to make atonement for them before the Lord. Behold, since its blood had not been brought inside into the sanctuary, you should certainly have eaten it in the sanctuary, just as I commanded." But Aaron spoke to Moses, "Behold, this very day they presented their sin offering and their burnt offering before the Lord. When things like these happened to me, if I had eaten a sin offering today, would it have been good in the sight of the Lord?" When Moses heard that, it seemed good in his sight. And that was chapter 10 of Leviticus. How's everybody doing tonight? I'm going to check back through the comments, see if I missed anything. Adam, you still there? He came a little bit early, and then I was a little bit late. Let's see, I saw Katrina talking, but I don't see her again. Hey, Adam. Yeah, no worries. I just like to make sure that the comments are not messed up or anything. Okay. I gotta tell you, Carla, making those mouse pads, I stuck with, well, I made it they wanted me to charge, I think $21 for a mouse pad or something, and I was like, that's outrageous. But they only let you go down so low, so I stuck a number and then left, but I'm gonna go back and see if I can get them lower, because it seems a little expensive for a mouse pad, in my opinion. Okay. And this is Leviticus chapter 11. The Lord spoke again to Moses and to Aaron, saying to them, "Speak to the sons of Israel, saying, These are the creatures which you may eat from all the animals that are on the earth. Whatever divides a hoof, thus making split hoofs, and chews the cud among the animals that you may eat. Nevertheless, you are not to eat of these among those which chew the cud, or among those which divide the hoof. The camel, for though it chews cud, it does not divide the hoof. It is unclean to you. Likewise, the shaphan, for though it chews cud, it does not divide the hoof. It is unclean to you. The rabbit also, for though it chews cud, it does not divide the hoof. It is unclean to you. And the pig, for though it divides the hoof, thus making a split hoof, it does not chew cud. It is unclean to you. You shall not eat of their flesh, nor touch their carcasses. They are unclean to you. These you may eat, whatever is in the water, all that have fins and scales, those in the water, in the seas or in the rivers, you may. But whatever is in the seas and in the rivers that does not have fins and scales among all the teeming life of the water, and among all the living creatures that are in the water. They are detestable things to you. They shall be abhorrent to you. You may not eat of their flesh, and their carcasses you shall detest. Whatever in the water does not have fins and scales is abhorrent to you. If you could just give me just 1 second, guys. I'm going to put up my AFK sign for just, like, maybe 1 minute. Sorry. Sorry about that. I'd use my inhaler. I haven't had to use it for a couple weeks, but I think it has to do with not having enough sleep. Seems to be when it acts up. Oh, hey, Soul Seeker. Oh, the album. How are you? You're welcome. I'm glad you're back. Okay. Yeah, no worries, Carla. And I do have 2 separate streams going right now, guys, so if you see me responding or hear me responding to someone you don't see, they do exist. I'm not that crazy. They're just in the other stream. Also, if you're in the vertical stream and you would like some background music, you can go over to the other stream, and I can actually tag that here. Hang on a second. Okay. There you go. So if you like background music and also a noise gate so you don't have to hear my extra little noises, that's the place to go. Okay. I'm going to continue on reading. Oh, I'm glad you're doing well. Yeah, I know all about being tired. These, moreover, you shall detest among the birds. They are abhorrent, not to be eaten. The eagle and the vulture and the buzzard, and the kite and the falcon in its kind, every raven in its kind, and the ostrich and the owl and the seagull and the hawk in its kind, and the little owl and the cormorant and the great owl, and the white owl and the pelican and the carrion vulture, and the stork, the heron in its kinds, and the hoopoe and the bat. I wish they'd listened about that bat in other parts of the world, a few years back. All the winged insects that walk on all fours are detestable to you. Yet these you may eat among all the winged insects which walk on all fours, those which have above their feet jointed legs with which to hop on the earth. These of them you may eat. The locust in its kinds, and the devastating locust in its kinds, and the cricket in its kinds, and the grasshopper in its kinds. And feel free to come to my yard and have as many as you'd like. But all other winged insects which are 4-footed are detestable to you. By these, moreover, you will be made unclean. Whoever touches their carcasses becomes unclean until evening, and whoever picks up any of their carcasses shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. Concerning all the animals which divide the hoof, but do not make a split hoof, or which do not chew cud, they are unclean to you. Whoever touches them becomes unclean, and whatever walks on its paws among all the creatures that walk on all fours are unclean to you. Whoever touches their carcasses becomes unclean until evening. And the one who picks up their carcasses shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. They are unclean to you. Let's see. I always have to check, make sure I haven't muted myself. Oh, I never took out my Bible. Nobody was going to tell me, huh? You guys think I'm that good? I can just read it all from memory? Now these are to you the unclean among the swarming things which swarm on the earth. The mole, and the mouse, and the great lizard and its kinds, and the gecko, and the crocodile, and the lizard, and the sand reptile, and the chameleon. These are to you the unclean among all the swarming things. Whoever touches them when they are dead becomes unclean until evening. Also, anything on which one of them may fall when they are dead becomes unclean, including any wooden article or clothing, or a skin or a sack, any article of which use is made. It shall be put in the water and be unclean until evening, then it becomes clean. As for any earthenware vessel into which one of them may fall, whatever is in it becomes unclean, and you shall break the vessel. Any of the food which may be eaten on which water comes shall become unclean, and any drunk in every vessel shall become unclean. Everything, moreover, on which part of their carcass may fall becomes unclean. An oven or a stove shall be smashed. They are unclean, and shall continue as unclean to you. Nevertheless, a spring or a cistern collecting water shall be clean, though the one who touches their carcass shall be unclean. Okay, wait, I just had a thought. So, there's a lot of Jews in New York, right? And in New York, don't they have a lot of issues with like cockroaches and rats and stuff? So I don't know exactly. I know modern like Judaism isn't exactly the same. But what happens there, like if a cockroach or a rat or something touches their stove? Is it different nowadays? Does anybody know? Sorry, I went off a little bit there. Okay. Nevertheless, a spring or a cistern collecting water shall be clean, though the one who touches their carcass shall be unclean. If a part of their carcass falls on any seed for sowing which is to be sown, it is clean. Though if water is put on the seed and a part of their carcass falls on it, it is unclean to you. Excuse me. Also, if one of the animals dies, which you have for food, the one who touches its carcass becomes unclean until evening. He too, who eats some of its carcass, shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. And the one who picks up its carcass shall wash his clothes and be unclean until evening. Now every swarming thing that swarms on the earth is detestable, not to be eaten. Whatever crawls on its belly and whatever walks on all fours, whatever has many feet, in respect to every swarming thing that swarms on the earth, you shall not eat them, for they are detestable. I couldn't agree more. Goodness. I hope we're not going to get sick. Do not render yourselves detestable through any of the swarming things that swarm, and you shall not make yourselves unclean with them, so that you become unclean. For I am the Lord your God. Consecrate yourselves therefore, and be holy, for I am holy. And you shall not make yourselves unclean with any of the swarming things that swarm on the earth. For I am the Lord who brought you up from the land of Egypt to be your God. Thus you shall be holy, for I am holy. Yeah, it must be, right? I don't know. It just kind of stumps me, Scott, because I guess I've had a lot of Jews come in to the stream, and we've had conversations. And what confuses me is without Jesus, without a savior, I said to them one time, I can't remember who it was, somebody that came in the stream, we were talking about it, and I said, well, what happens if you, because they do a trek every so often, or on, you know, one of the traditions, one of the, like the Passover or something, I can't remember which, but they go and they're forgiven if they do something, right? Or at least that's how it was in the Bible. And then now we are forgiven and we can ask for forgiveness at any point in time. I said, well, what happens if you were to die before the time you can go and be forgiven, because they can't sacrifice and things anymore? So I don't know. I'm still learning about all that. Yeah. Yeah. I might want to break the cockroach or break the stove if I saw cockroaches too. That scares me. I'm glad that is not an issue that I've ever had to really face. I did see one time, and we moved very, very shortly after. It actually stood up on its back legs and hissed at my cat, and he like yelped and ran, and that was enough for me. This is the law regarding the animal and the bird, and every living thing that moves in the waters and everything that swarms on the earth, to make a distinction between the unclean and the clean, and between the edible creature and the creature which is not to be eaten. And that was chapter 11 of Leviticus. I just don't know, though, about it having to be different. Like, it's like I don't call myself a denomination of Christianity, right? I call myself a Bible believing Christian. So, I don't really do the whole, follow the culture, follow the changing times and all that, other than obviously following the laws of the land and things, which the Bible also tells us to heed. So there's a lot of things that other religions and Jews and stuff like that do. Like, certain Jews, they're not allowed to show their hair, right? So they wear a wig. And to me, that feels like a loophole. And I'm not sure. I'm just not sure how it all works, I guess. If anybody needs prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm going to take a drink, and then we will carry on to chapter 12. As soon as I can get my mouse cord out from underneath the mouse. And I'm not drinking Pepsi. My son was kind enough to get me a Lotus when I picked him up tonight. And actually, I think I'll see if he wants to guest read a chapter while I get my inhaler in a second. Hey, Chickaboo. Kenneth. Can you breathe in? Do you want to read a chapter for me? Or you can get Kenny. It's just I had to use my inhaler and I'm just waiting for it to kick in. He's gonna get that so you guys can. So you guys don't have to wait for my lungs to reinflate.
I just need to get some deodorant.
Oh, that's okay.
What's up?
Oh, Alina, how are you? Can you read at least part of Leviticus 12? I had to use my inhaler and it's just taking a minute, so.
Yeah. Okay. Then
Oh,
the
your
Lord.
dad's right over there in that one.
Hello. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the sons of Israel, saying, When a woman gives birth and bears a male child, then she shall be unclean for 7 days. As in the days of her menstruation, she shall be unclean. On the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. Then
You always end up reading about foreskin and stuff.
Oh my word.
I'm glad it was you though. Avery was gonna come and I think this is the wrong chapter for him.
Hi, Lena. Or is it Elena? Elena? I'm not sure.
As soon as he heard menstruation, he'd be like, I'm good off that. And he'd be out of here.
On the 8th day, the flesh of his foreskin shall be circumcised. Then she shall remain in the blood of her purification for 33 days. He shall not touch or any consecrated thing, nor enter the sanctuary until the days of her purification are completed. But if she bears a female child, then she shall be unclean for 2 weeks, as in her menstruation, and she shall remain in the blood of her purification for 66 days. When the days of her purification are completed for a son or for a daughter, she shall bring to the priest at the doorway of the tent of meeting a 1-year-old lamb for a burnt offering, and a young pigeon or a turtle dove for a sin offering. Then
themselves in a pool, and this was in modern times. I'm not sure how modern though. That's important.
Sunshine.
Sunshine. Come here.
I don't have a shirt on.
Oh my god.
Hello, Scott. I don't know if I already said hello, Scott. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, when a man has on the skin of his body a swelling or scab or a bright spot, and it becomes an infection of leprosy on the skin of his body, then he shall be brought to Aaron the priest, or to one of his sons the priests. Aaron the priest, or to one of his sons the priest. The priest shall look at the mark on the skin of the body, and if the hair in the infection has turned white, and the infection appears to be deeper than the skin of his body, it is an infection of leprosy. When the priest has looked at him, he shall pronounce him unclean. But if the bright spot is white on the skin of his body, and it does not appear to be deeper than the skin, and the hair on it has not turned white, then the priest shall isolate him who has the infection for 7 days. The priest shall look at him on the 7th day, and if in his eyes the infection has not changed, and the infection, then the priest shall isolate him for 7 more days. The priest shall look at him again on the 7th day, and if the infection has faded, and the mark has not spread to the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him clean. It is only a scab, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the scab spreads farther on the skin after he has been shown himself to the priest for his cleansing, he shall appear again and if the scab has spread on the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is leprosy. When the infection of leprosy is on a man, then he shall be brought to the priest. The priest shall then look, and if there is a white swelling in the skin, and it has turned the hair white, and there is quick raw flesh in the swelling, it is a chronic leprosy on the skin of his body, and the priest shall pronounce him unclean. He shall not isolate him, for he is unclean. If the leprosy breaks out farther on the skin, and the leprosy covers all the skin of him who has the infection, from his head even to his feet, as far as the priest can see, then the priest shall look, and behold, if the leprosy has covered all his body, he shall pronounce clean him who has the infection. It has all turned white, and he is clean. But whenever raw flesh appears on him, he shall be unclean. The priest shall look at the raw flesh, and he shall pronounce him unclean. The raw flesh is unclean, it is leprosy. Or if the raw flesh turns again and is changed to white, then he shall come to the priest, and the priest shall look at him, and behold, if the infection has turned white, then the priest shall pronounce him clean, him who has the infection. He is clean. When the body has a boil on its skin, and it is healed, and in the place of the boil there is a white swelling or reddish-white bright spot, then it shall be shown to the priest. And the priest shall look, and behold, if it appears to be lower on the skin, hair on it has turned white, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. If it is the infection of leprosy, it has broken out in the boil, but if the priest looks at it, and behold, there is no white hairs in it, it is not lower than the skin, and it faded, then the priest shall isolate him for 7 days. And if it spreads farther on the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is an infection. But if the bright spot remains in its place and does not spread, it is only the scab of the boil, scar of the boil. The priest shall pronounce him clean. Or if the body sustains in its skin burned by fire, and the raw flesh of the burn becomes a bright spot, reddish or white, then the priest shall look at it, and if the hair on the bright spot has turned white and it appears to be deeper than the skin, it is leprosy. It has broken out in the burn. Therefore, the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is an infection of leprosy. But if the priest looks at it, and indeed there is no white hair in the bright spot, and is no deeper than the skin, but is dim, then the priest shall isolate him for 7 days, and the priest shall look at him on the 7th day. If it spreads farther in the skin, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is an infection of leprosy. But if the bright spot remains in its place and has not spread in the skin, but it is dim, it is the swelling from the burn, and the priest shall pronounce him clean, for it is only the scar of the burn. Now, if a man or woman has an infection on the head or on the beard, the priest shall look at the infection, and if it appears to be deeper than the skin, and there is thin yellowish hair in it, then the priest shall pronounce him unclean. It is a scale. It is leprosy of the head or of the beard. But if the priest looks at the infection of the scale, and indeed it appears to be no deeper than the skin, and there is no black hair in it, then the priest shall isolate the person with the scaly infection for 7 days. On the 7th day, the priest shall look at the infection, and if the scale has spread and no yellowish hair has grown in it, and the appearance of the scale is no deeper than, then he shall shave himself, but he shall not shave the scale. And the priest shall isolate the person with the scale 7 more days. Then on the 7th day, the priest shall look at the scale, and if connect your encoder to start preview. Is it? Oh, okay, it's fine. Then on the 7th day, the priest shall look at the scale, and if the scale has not spread to the skin, and it appears no deeper than the skin, the priest shall pronounce him clean, and he shall wash his clothes and be clean. But if the scale spreads farther in the skin after his cleansing, then the priest shall look at him, and if the scale has spread in the skin, the priest need not seek for the yellowish hair, he is unclean. If in his sight the scale has remained, however, and the black hair has grown in it, the scale has healed, he is clean. The priest shall pronounce him clean. When a man or a woman has bright spots on the skin of the body, even white bright spots, then the priest shall look, and if the bright spots on the skin of their bodies are a faint white, it is eczema that has broken out in the skin, he is clean. Now, if a man loses the hair of his head, he is bald. He is clean. If his head becomes bald in the front sides, he is bald on the forehead, he is clean. But if on the bald head or on the bald forehead there occurs a reddish-white infection, it is leprosy breaking out in his bald head or on his bald forehead. Then the priest shall look at him, and if the swelling of the infection is reddish-white on his bald head or on his bald forehead, like the appearance of leprosy in the skin of the body, he is a leprous man, he is unclean. The priest shall surely pronounce him unclean. His infection is on his head. As for the leper who has the infection, his clothes shall be torn, and the hair of his head shall be uncovered, and he shall cover his mustache and cry, unclean, unclean. He shall remain unclean all the days during which he has the infection, he is unclean. He shall live alone, his dwelling place shall be outside the camp. When a garment has a mark of leprosy in it, whether it is a wool garment or a linen garment, whether in warp or woof, or of linen or of wool, whether in leather or in any article made of leather, if the mark is greenish or reddish in the garment, or in the leather, or in the warp or in the woof, or in any article of leather, it is a leprous mark, and shall be shown to the priest. Then the priest shall look at the mark, and shall quarantine the article with the 7th mark. Shall then look at the mark on the 7th day. If the mark has spread in the garment, whether in the warp or in the woof, or in the leather, whatever the purpose for which the leather is used, the mark is a leprous malignancy. It is unclean, so he shall burn the garment, whether the warp or the woof, in the wool or in the linen, or any article of leather which the mark occurs, for it is a leprous malignancy. It shall be burned in the fire. But if the priest shall look, and indeed the mark has not spread in the garment, either in the warp or in the woof, or in any article of leather, then the priest shall order them to wash the thing in which the mark occurs, and he shall quarantine it for 7 more days. After the article with the mark has been washed, the priest shall look again, and if the mark has not changed its appearance, even though the mark is not spread, it is unclean. You shall burn it in the fire, whether in eating away has produced bareness on the top or on the front of it. Then if the priest looks, and the mark has faded after it has been washed, then he shall tear it out of the garment or out of the leather, whether from the warp or from the woof, and if it appears again in the garment, whether in the warp or in the woof, or in any article of leather, it is an outbreak. The article with the mark shall be burned in the fire. The garment, whether the warp or the woof, or any article... Am I pronouncing it wrong?
No, I don't know.
Or any...
How many times it has been said.
Or any article of leather from which the mark has departed when you washed it, it shall then be washed a 2nd time and will be clean. This is the law for the mark of leprosy in a garment of wool or linen, whether in the warp or in the woof, or in any article of leather, for pronouncing it clean or unclean.
Had to get the warp and woof in there one more time. Sniff this or... Thank you. Okay. I should be able to breathe better now. Oh, and it disconnects. It's like, no. What's happening? Oh, I think my hotspot dropped.
It was like
No?
new or something.
It is like new or something, honey.
Well, yeah.
It's eyelet. All I smell is your deodorant. Which is better than what I usually smell, so thank you. Okay, so that was chapter 13 of Leviticus. Thank you for bearing with me. I like to listen to Kenny read. But, I just didn't want you guys hearing me, like, clinging to life. Okay, if anybody needs prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. And this is Leviticus chapter 14. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, This shall be the law of the leper in the day of his cleansing. Now he shall be brought to the priest, and the priest shall go out to the outside of the camp. Thus the priest shall look, and if the infection of leprosy has been healed in the leper, then the priest shall give orders to take 2 live clean birds and cedar wood, and a scarlet string and hyssop for the one who is to be cleansed. The priest shall also give orders to slay the one bird in an earthenware vessel over running water. As for the live bird, he shall take it together with the cedar wood and the scarlet string and the hyssop, and shall dip them and the live bird in the blood of the bird that was slain over the running water. He shall then sprinkle 7 times, and the one who is to be cleansed from the leprosy, and shall pronounce him clean. Let me see. Then sprinkle 7 times the one who is to be cleansed from the leprosy, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the live bird go free over the open field. The cleansed shall then wash his clothes and shave off all his hair and bathe in water and be clean. Now afterward he may enter the camp, but he shall stay outside his tent for 7 days. It will be on the 7th day that he shall shave off all his hair. He shall shave his head and his beard and his eyebrows, even all his hair. He shall then wash his clothes and bathe his body in water and be clean. Now on the 8th day he is to take 2 male lambs without defect, and a yearling ewe lamb without defect, and 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil for a grain offering, and 1 log of oil. And the priest who pronounces him clean shall present the man to be cleansed and the aforesaid before the Lord at the doorway of the tent of meeting. Then the priest shall take the 1 male lamb and bring it for a guilt offering with the log of oil, and present them as a wave offering before the Lord. Next he shall slaughter the male lamb in the place where they slaughter the sin offering and the burnt offering. At the place of the sanctuary, for the guilt offering, like the sin offering, belongs to the priest. It is most holy. The priest shall then take some of the blood of the guilt offering, and the priest shall put it on the lobe of the right ear of the one to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. The priest shall also take some of the log of oil and pour it into his left palm. The priest shall then dip his right hand finger into the oil that is in his left palm, and with his finger sprinkle some of the oil 7 times before the Lord. Of the remaining oil which is in his palm, the priest shall put some on the right ear lobe of the one to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot, on the blood of the guilt offering, while the rest of the oil that is in the priest's palm he shall put on the head of the one to be cleansed. So the priest shall make atonement on his behalf before the Lord. The priest shall next offer the sin offering and make atonement for the one to be cleansed from his uncleanness. Then afterward he shall slaughter the burnt offering. What is going on with my... I don't know why. Are you guys getting little blips of the stream cutting out over there in the main stream? Okay. The priest shall next offer the sin offering and make atonement for the one to be cleansed from his uncleanness. Then afterward he shall slaughter the burnt offering. The priest shall offer up the burnt offering and the grain offering on the altar. Thus the priest shall make atonement for him, and he will be clean. But if he is poor and his means are insufficient, then he is to take 1 male lamb for a guilt offering as a wave offering to make atonement for him, and 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with oil for a grain offering, and a log of oil, and 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons which are within his means. The one shall be a sin offering, and the other a burnt offering. Then the 8th day he shall bring them for his cleansing to the priest at the doorway of the tent of meeting before the Lord. The priest shall take the lamb of the guilt offering and the log of oil, and the priest shall offer them for a wave offering before the Lord. Next he shall slaughter the lamb of the guilt offering, and the priest is to take some of the blood of the guilt offering and put it on the lobe of the right ear of the one to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. The priest shall also pour some of the oil into his left palm, and with his right hand finger the priest shall sprinkle some of the oil that is in his left palm 7 times before the Lord. The priest shall then put some of the oil that is in his palm on the lobe of the right ear of the one to be cleansed, and on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot, on the place of the blood of the guilt offering. Moreover, the rest of the oil that is in the priest's palm he shall put on the head of the one to be cleansed, to make atonement on his behalf before the Lord. He shall then offer one of the turtle doves, or young pigeons, which are within his means. He shall offer what he can afford, the one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering, together with a grain offering, so the priest shall make atonement before the Lord on behalf of the one to be cleansed. This is the law for him in whom there is an infection of leprosy, whose means are limited for his cleansing. The Lord further spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, When you enter the land of Canaan, which I give you for a possession, and I put a mark of leprosy on a house in the land of your possession, then the one who owns the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, Something like a mark of leprosy has become visible to me in the house. The priest shall then command that they empty the house before the priest goes in to look at the mark, so that everything in the house need not become unclean. And afterward the priest shall go in to look at the house. So he shall look at the mark, and if the mark on the walls of the house has greenish or reddish depressions and appears deeper than the surface, then the priest shall come out of the house to the doorway and quarantine the house for 7 days. The priest shall return on the 7th day and make an inspection. If the mark has indeed spread in the walls of the house, then the priest shall order them to tear out the stones with the mark in them and throw them away at an unclean place outside the city. He shall have the house scraped all around inside, and they shall dump the plaster that they scraped off at an unclean place outside the city. Excuse me. Then they shall take other stones and replace those stones, and he shall take other plaster and replaster the house. If, however, the mark breaks out again in the house after he has torn out the stones and scraped the house, and after it has been replastered, then the priest shall come in and make an inspection. If he sees that the mark has indeed spread in the house, it is a malignant mark in the house, it is unclean. He shall therefore tear down the house, its stones and its timbers, and all the plaster of the house, and he shall take them outside the city to an unclean place. Moreover, whoever goes into the house during the time that he has quarantined it becomes unclean until evening. Likewise, whoever lies down in the house shall wash his clothes, and whoever eats in the house shall wash his clothes. If, on the other hand, the priest comes in and makes an inspection, and the mark has not indeed spread in the house after the house has been replastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, because the mark has not reappeared. To cleanse the house, then, he shall take 2 birds and cedar wood and a scarlet string and hyssop, and he shall slaughter the one bird in an earthenware vessel over running water. Mick! Oh, hey. Let's see. God bless you, Album. Have a good night. How are you doing, Mick? Okay. Then he shall take the cedar wood and the hyssop and the scarlet string with the live bird, and dip them in the blood of the slain bird as well as in the running water, and sprinkle the house 7 times. He shall thus cleanse the house with the blood of the bird, and with the running water, along with the live bird, and with the cedar wood, and with the hyssop, and with the scarlet string. However, he shall let the live bird go free outside the city into the open field. So he shall make atonement for the house, and it will be clean. This is the law for any mark of leprosy, even for a scale, and for the leprous garment or house, and for a swelling, and for a scab, and for a bright spot, to teach when they are unclean and when they are clean. This is the law of leprosy. Glad to hear you're doing good. And that was chapter 14 of Leviticus. Welcome to those just coming in. God bless you. If anybody needs prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. And I'm sorry, I didn't notice I had not moved my prayer text over to the side. I didn't mean to be covering the Bible. Move this around here and get it where it should be, at least sort of. Okay. Then I'm going to take a drink, and then I will carry on to the next chapter. How's everybody doing tonight? Oh, more people are joining us. How are you guys doing? God bless you. If you need prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. I didn't mean to startle you, Easy. Leviticus chapter 15. This is all the super exciting stuff. The Lord also spoke to Moses and to Aaron, saying, "Speak to the sons of Israel and say to them, when any man has a discharge from his body, his discharge is unclean. This, moreover, shall be his uncleanness in his discharge. It is his uncleanness whether his body allows its discharge to flow or whether his body obstructs its discharge. Every bed on which the person with the discharge lies becomes unclean, and everything on which he sits becomes unclean." Hey, Mimi, how are you? Yes, Maranatha. Amen. I'm glad he's in control and I don't have to be. I can't even manage my time. Imagine having to manage everything. Okay. Anyone, moreover, who touches his bed shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. And whoever sits on the thing on which the man with the discharge has been sitting shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. Also, whoever touches the person with the discharge shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. Or if the man with the discharge spits on one who is clean, he too shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. I think I might do that regardless if you spit on me. I might do something else too, but okay. Every saddle on which the person with the discharge rides becomes unclean. Whoever then touches any of the things which were under him shall be unclean until evening, and he who carries them shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. Likewise, whomever the one with the discharge touches without having rinsed his hands in water shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. Rinse? Get some soap in there. However, an earthenware vessel which the person with the discharge touches shall be broken, and every wooden vessel shall be rinsed in water. I mean, what are we using here? Like an A&W cup or something? Now, when the man with the discharge becomes cleansed from his discharge, then he shall count off for himself 7 days for his cleansing. He shall then wash his clothes and bathe his body in running water, and will become clean. Then on the 8th day he shall take for himself 2 turtle doves. Every time I say turtle dove, especially when it's 2, I want to say partridge in pear tree. Or 2 young pigeons, and come before the Lord to the doorway of the tent of meeting, and give them to the priest. And the priest shall offer them, one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. So the priest shall make atonement on his behalf before the Lord because of his discharge. Now, if a man has a seminal emission, he shall bathe all his body in water and be unclean until evening. As for any garment or any leather on which there is seminal emission, it shall be washed with water and be unclean until evening. Is everybody clear on what seminal emission is? I think most of us are, but others you could probably Google it. If a man lies with a woman so that there is a seminal emission, that probably answers it for you if you didn't already know. They shall both bathe in water and be unclean until evening. When a woman has a discharge, if her discharge in her body is blood, she shall continue in her menstrual impurity for 7 days, and whoever touches her shall be unclean until evening. Everything also on which she lies during her menstrual impurity shall be unclean, and everything on which she sits shall be unclean. Now, this is why, I think we already passed that. Rachel, maybe not. No, that's later. Oh my goodness, I should sleep. But when Rachel stole the idols from her dad's house, and he came searching and said he was going to kill whoever they were found with, she sat on them. She put them under a saddle, I believe, or a saddlebag, and sat on that. And when her father came in there, she said, "Oh, I'm on my period, basically. I can't stand," because they couldn't do that in the presence of men or what have you. So that's how she got away with stealing those idols and not dying for it. Anyone who touches her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. Whoever touches anything on which she sits shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. Whether it be on the bed or on the thing on which she is sitting, when he touches it, he shall be unclean until evening. If a man actually lies with her so that her menstrual impurity is on him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and every bed on which he lies shall be unclean. Oh, the stream just blipped out again. Oh, reconnect. Why isn't it up? Come on, reconnect. Oh, goodness. Scott, are you hearing me over there? No, the mobile thing is still there. Okay, it reloaded now. Sorry guys if you're having blips. I'm not sure what's going on. Okay, I'm gonna have to refresh the hotspot. It's been out on my side. And then it doesn't reconnect right away, so that's when I get concerned. Now, if a woman has a discharge of her blood many days, not at the period of her menstrual impurity, or if she has a discharge beyond that period, all the days of her impure discharge she shall continue as though in her menstrual impurity. She is unclean. Any bed on which she lies all the days of her discharge shall be to her like her bed at menstruation, and everything on which she sits shall be unclean, like her uncleanness at that time. Likewise, whoever touches them shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes and bathe in water and be unclean until evening. When she becomes clean from her discharge, she shall count off for herself 7 days, and afterward she will be clean. Then on the 8th day she shall take for herself 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, and bring them in to the priest, to the doorway of the tent of meeting. The priest shall offer the one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering. So the priest shall make atonement on her behalf before the Lord because of her impure discharge. Man, menopause must not have been too bad of a thing back then. They're like, bring it on. Thus you shall keep the sons of Israel separated from their uncleanness, so that they will not die in their uncleanness by their defiling my tabernacle that is among them. This is the law for the one with a discharge, and for the man who has a seminal emission, so that he is unclean by it, and for the woman who is ill because of menstrual impurity, and for the one who has a discharge, whether a male or a female, or a man who lies with an unclean woman. And that was chapter 15 of Leviticus. I wonder if that's anybody's favorite book of the Bible. Do you ever read a passage, like a verse or a scripture or a chapter or whatever, even a book, and think, I wonder if that's like somebody's favorite part, you know? Because you never know. Some people like the more like the psalm poetic type stuff, and some people like Proverbs where it's like wisdom, and then some people like something else. I actually really like Job now. When I had the hardest time finishing it the first time, and now I've read it like 5 times since. Excuse me. Yeah, it is. Okay. Now the Lord spoke to Moses after the death of the two sons of Aaron, when they had approached the presence of the Lord and died. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell your brother Aaron that he shall not enter at any time into the holy place inside the veil before the mercy seat which is on the ark, or he will die. For I will appear in the cloud over the mercy seat. Aaron shall enter the holy place with this, with a bull for a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering. He shall put on the holy linen tunic, and the linen undergarment shall be next to his body, and he shall be girded with the linen sash and attired with the linen turban. These are holy garments. Then he shall bathe his body in water and put them on. He shall take from the congregation of the sons of Israel 2 male goats for a sin offering and 1 ram for a burnt offering. Then Aaron shall offer the bull for the sin offering, which is for himself, that he may make atonement for himself and for his household. He shall take the 2 goats and present them before the Lord at the doorway of the tent of meeting. Aaron shall cast lots for the 2 goats, one lot for the Lord and the other lot for the scapegoat. Then Aaron shall offer the goat on which the lot for the Lord fell, and make it a sin offering, but the goat on which the lot for the scapegoat fell shall be presented alive before the Lord, to make atonement upon it, to send it into the wilderness as the scapegoat. I love that. I bet a lot of people don't even know what scapegoat, like where it comes from. Then Aaron shall offer the bull of the sin offering, which is for himself, and make atonement for himself and for his household, and he shall slaughter the bull of the sin offering, which is for himself. He shall take a firepan full of coals of fire from upon the altar before the Lord, and 2 handfuls of finely ground sweet incense, and bring it inside the veil. He shall put the incense on the fire before the Lord, that the cloud of incense may cover the mercy seat that is on the ark of the testimony. Otherwise he will die. Moreover, he shall take some of the blood of the bull and sprinkle it with his finger on the mercy seat of the east side, Also in front of the mercy seat he shall sprinkle some of the blood with his finger 7 times. Then he shall slaughter the goat of the sin offering, which is for the people, and bring its blood inside the veil, and do with its blood as he did with the blood of the bull, and sprinkle it on the mercy seat and in front of the mercy seat. He shall make atonement for the holy place, because of the impurities of the sons of Israel, and because of their transgressions in regard to all their sins. And thus he shall do for the tent of meeting, which abides with them in the midst of their impurities. When he goes in to make atonement in the holy place, no one shall be in the tent of meeting until he comes out, that he may make atonement for himself and for his household and for all the assembly of Israel. Then he shall go out to the altar that is before the Lord and make atonement for it, and shall make some of the blood of the bull, take some of the blood of the bull, and of the blood of the goat, and put it on the horns of the altar on all sides. With his finger he shall sprinkle some of the blood on it 7 times, and cleanse it, and from the impurities of the sons of Israel consecrate it. And every time I read this book, I'm thinking, thank God for Jesus. You know what I mean? And I think that's why it's so, and I say this every time I read this for you guys, I think that's why continuing to read the Old Testament, even Leviticus, where a lot of it is not stuff that we have to do as Christians, or that anybody should have to do anymore, just to think about what they had to do back then, and how now we can just come to Jesus, like in our own bodies, in our own house, wherever we are, and say, Lord, I'm sorry, please forgive me, repent and make a change. I don't know if I could do all this, if I had to slaughter an animal to feed my family, like if I had to, I could do it. But man, I guess they were just kind of used to it. But all the things they had to do And we just have the Holy Spirit and forgiveness. We just have to, believe and do as we're asked. That is so minimal compared to the blessing and the undeserved gift we were given by the Son of God, Sorry, I didn't mean to get emotional there. The older I get and the closer I get to the Lord, He's so good. All right, I'm gonna take a drink. Okay. Goodness. Leviticus chapter 16. Welcome to those just coming in. If anybody needs prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. Yeah, Scott, they were. And honestly, so many times it could have been more simple, but things happened the way they did. And yes, Mick, grace. So much easier than trying to fulfill the law. And I was just thinking as I was reading that too, imagine being Aaron. Full disclosure, my first thought is he has a wife, and what about the little, sometimes you send your husband off to work, you know what I'm saying? Or there's none of that, because you would have to be re-cleansing yourself and everything. It's just all the things that you take for granted really start coming to mind when you see exactly what he would have had to gone through. He watched his sons just boom die right then and there because they came before God after throwing some incense on the fire. Ugh. We're blessed. Okay. When he finishes atoning for the holy place and the tent of meeting and the altar, he shall offer the live goat. Then Aaron shall lay both of his hands on the head of the live goat and confess over it all the iniquities of the sons of Israel and all their transgressions in regard to all their sins, and he shall lay them on the head of the goat and send it away into the wilderness by the hand of a man who stands in readiness. The goat shall bear on itself all their iniquities to a solitary land, and he shall release the goat in the wilderness. No, Mick hopped over the other one. Or are you just done both, Mick? Then Aaron shall come into the tent of meeting and take off the linen garments which he put on when he went into the holy place, and shall leave them there. He shall bathe his body with water in a holy place and put on his clothes, and come forth and offer his burnt offering and the burnt offering of the people, and make atonement for himself and for the people. Then he shall offer up in smoke the fat of the sin offering on the altar. The one who released the goat as the scapegoat shall wash his clothes and bathe his body with water. Then afterward he shall come into the camp. But the bull of the sin offering and the goat of the sin offering, whose blood was brought in to make atonement in the holy place, shall be taken outside the camp, and they shall burn their hides, their flesh, and their refuse in the fire. Then the one who burns them shall wash his clothes and bathe his body with water. Then afterward he shall come into the camp. This shall be a permanent statute for you. In the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall humble your souls and not do any work, whether the native or the alien who sojourns among you, for it is on this day that atonement shall be made for you to cleanse you. You will be clean from all your sins before the Lord. It is to be a Sabbath of solemn rest for you, that you may humble your souls. It is a permanent statute. With the talk about the Sabbath, I feel like the language around it is always like permanent, everlasting, through your generations. So the priest who is anointed and ordained to serve as priest in his father's place shall make atonement. He shall thus put on the linen garments, the holy garments, and make atonement for the holy sanctuary, and he shall make atonement for the tent of meeting and for the altar. He shall also make atonement for the priests and for all the people of the assembly. Now you shall have this as a permanent statute, to make atonement for the sons of Israel for all their sins once every year. And just as the Lord had commanded Moses, so he did. And that was chapter 16 of Leviticus. Welcome to those just coming in. God bless you. If anybody needs prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. I'm going to take a drink and then we will carry on into chapter 17. Okay. You can't sit still, huh? Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron and to his sons and to all the sons of Israel, and say to them, This is what the Lord has commanded, saying, Any man from the house of Israel who slaughters an ox or a lamb or a goat in the camp, or who slaughters it outside the camp and has not brought it to the doorway of the tent of meeting to present it as an offering to the Lord before the tabernacle of the Lord, blood guiltiness is to be reckoned to that man. Excuse me. He has shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people. The reason is so that the sons of Israel may bring their sacrifices which they were sacrificing in the open field, that they may bring them into the Lord at the doorway of the tent of meeting to the priest and sacrifice them as sacrifices of peace offerings to the Lord. Hang on, I gotta listen for a second and see if my kids are screaming for good or bad. Okay, that's good. The priest shall sprinkle the blood on the altar of the Lord at the doorway of the tent of meeting, and offer up the fat and smoke as a soothing aroma to the Lord. They shall no longer sacrifice their sacrifices to the goat demons, with which they play the harlot. This shall be a permanent statute to them throughout their generations. Then you shall say to them, Any man from the house of Israel, or from the aliens who sojourn among them, who offers a burnt offering or sacrifice and does not bring it to the doorway of the tent of meeting to offer it to the Lord, that man also shall be cut off from his people. And any man from the house of Israel, or from the aliens who sojourn among them, who eats any blood, I will set my face against that person who eats blood, and will cut him off from among his people. For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you on the altar to make atonement for your souls. For it is the blood by reason of the life that makes atonement. Therefore I said to the sons of Israel, No person among you may eat blood, nor may any alien who sojourns among you eat blood. So when any man from the sons of Israel, or from the aliens who sojourn among them, in hunting catches a beast or a bird which may be eaten, he shall pour out its blood and cover it with earth. For as for the life of all flesh, its blood is identified with its life. Therefore I said to the sons of Israel, You are not to eat the blood of any flesh, for the life of all flesh is its blood. Whoever eats it shall be cut off. When any person eats an animal which died... I gotta stop. Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe in blood transfusions, right? Where do they get that? Because you're not eating the blood. I don't know. Random thoughts. They abound with me, sorry. When any person eats an animal which dies or is torn by beasts, whether he is a native or an alien, he shall wash his clothes and bathe in water, and remain unclean until evening. Then he will become clean. But if he does not wash them or bathe his body, then he shall bear his guilt. And that was chapter 17 of Leviticus. Give me just a sec. Okay. Welcome to those just coming in, although it looks like more people are leaving than coming right now. But I like to say it anyway because I want to make sure anybody who comes in here knows that they can get prayer when they need it. I'm sure some people get tired of hearing the same thing. I mean, I suppose. I wouldn't think so, though. I don't know that I would want a transfusion myself, but I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with it. I'm just not sure where they get their belief from that verse, because I've been told that it's from that verse. And even so, well, they'd only be unclean until they washed and until evening back then, but with it's still pumping through your veins, I don't suppose you could get. I don't know. Obviously, we have grace, and they supposedly believe in Jesus, so why wouldn't they believe in grace for that? I don't know. Again, with the random thoughts. I don't know why you guys put up with me. I'm sure glad you do, though. Okay. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the sons of Israel, and say to them, I am the Lord your God. You shall not do what is done in the land of Egypt where you lived, nor are you to do what is done in the land of Canaan where I am bringing you. You shall not walk in their statutes. You are to perform my judgments and keep my statutes, to live in accord with them. I am the Lord your God. So you shall keep my statutes and my judgments, by which a man may live if he does them. I am the Lord." Are you okay, Weezy? "None of you shall approach any blood relative of his to uncover nakedness. I am the Lord. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father, that is, the nakedness of your mother. She is your mother. You are not to uncover her nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's wife. It is your father's nakedness. The nakedness of your sister, either your father's daughter or your mother's daughter, whether born at home or born outside, their nakedness you shall not uncover. The nakedness of your son." That's new here, isn't it? Because Abraham married his father's sister? I'm sorry. I didn't unmute that stream. I'm sorry. Where did I leave off at? I love you too, Scott. Thank you. Must have been all the way back up here, huh? Yeah, so what I was saying is that I'll read back to it again, but it talks about not uncovering other people's nakedness. And before this, Abraham married his father's sister. So this is new when he says you can't do that, because they used to. I'm sure glad that they changed it. That God was like, no, we're not doing that anymore. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to the sons of Israel and say to them, I am the Lord your God. You shall not do what is done in the land of Egypt where you lived, nor are you to do what is done in the land of Canaan where I am bringing you. You shall not walk in their statutes. You are to perform my judgments and keep my statutes, to live in accord with them. I am the Lord your God. So you shall keep my statutes and my judgments, by which a man may live if he does them. I am the Lord." Yeah, I fixed the audio. I don't know if that comment just took a minute to come through, Mick, or is there still an issue? None of you shall approach any blood relative of his to uncover nakedness. I am the Lord. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father, that is, the nakedness of your mother. She is your mother, you are not to uncover her nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's wife, it is your father's nakedness. The nakedness of your sister, either your father's daughter or your mother's daughter, whether born at home or born outside, their nakedness you shall not uncover. The nakedness of your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter, their nakedness you shall not uncover, for their nakedness is yours. Wait. Oh, I see. Yeah. That took me a second. I've read this 5 times and I don't know why. Oh, I see. The nakedness of your father's wife's daughter, born to your father, she is your sister, you shall not uncover her nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's sister, she is your father's blood relative. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, for she is your mother's blood relative. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your father's brother. You shall not approach his wife, she is your aunt. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your daughter-in-law, she is your son's wife. You shall not uncover her nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of your brother's wife, it is your brother's nakedness. You shall not uncover the nakedness of a woman and of her daughter, nor shall you take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness. They are blood relatives. Now wait, with this in-law thing, does it say, Weezy, you scared me, are you okay? Oh, I think you must be having growing pains. You've been having so many of these night terror things. Oh, my sweet darling. Because, what about, let me see, does it say, yeah, it says your brother's wife. So what about, is that only while they're living? Oh, let me see. Oh, I don't know why, because it doesn't show that as an issue on my phone. Sorry, hopefully that fixes it. So what about later, in the New Testament, when they test Jesus, saying, you know, that if your brother dies, you're supposed to, and there's no children yet, you're supposed to go and have kids with her, because they say about all the 7 brothers married the one, and they want to know, what about when they get to heaven? And that's when he says, you know, you aren't married in heaven. So why were they doing that? Is that just a no, that's well, yes it is. I just use you're in my mobile stream, and I just go to the web and open up the stream, my main stream there, and screen capture it for your stream. Because if I do the dual stream over here, it's like it gets no traction. So I have to do it this way. It's just kind of a pain. I used to be able to stream, it also cuts it. It crops it to the middle. No, that's what we do around here. We chat a little bit here and there. We go on side quests. So yeah. No, I'll have to look more into that. Gotta get to the lewdness part. You shall not uncover the nakedness of a woman and of her daughter, nor shall you take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness. They are blood relatives. It is lewdness. You shall not marry a woman in addition to her sister as a rival while she is alive to uncover her nakedness. Okay, while she's alive. But that's not the man. Wait. Also, you shall not approach a woman to uncover her nakedness during her menstrual impurity. You shall not have intercourse with your neighbor's wife to be defiled with her. You shall not give any of your offspring to offer them. Goodness. Breathe. Sorry, guys. You shall not give any of your offspring to offer them to Moloch, nor shall you profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. You shall not lie with a male as one lies with a female. It is an abomination. Also, you shall not have intercourse with any animal to be defiled with it, nor shall any woman stand before an animal to mate with it. It is a perversion. Do not defile yourselves by any of these things, for by all these the nations which I am casting out before you have become defiled, for the land has become defiled. Therefore I have brought its punishment upon it. So the land has spewed out its inhabitants. But as for you, you are to keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not do any of these abominations, neither the native nor the alien who sojourns among you. For the men of the land who have been before you have done all these abominations, and the land has become defiled. So that the land will not spew you out, should you defile it, as it has spewed out the nation which has been before you. For whoever does any of these abominations, those persons who do so shall be cut off from among their people. Thus you are to keep my charge, that you do not practice any of the abominable customs which have been practiced before you, so as not to defile yourselves with them. I am the Lord your God. And that was chapter 18 of Leviticus. Let's see. Scott said I was on a live stream earlier today where they said that the Antichrist is going to be AI, artificial intelligence. I've done a little bit of reading and studying on that. I see what they're saying. And I do see that would be a whole can of worms to talk about here. But I know where they're coming from with that. And we actually touched on that. Scott, you may remember when we did the prophecy Bible study. I think we touched on that then. Welcome, BG. You're a believer, but why would a perfect God allow the Holocaust to happen? Well, why does he allow, quote unquote, anything to happen? Why are we asking why God is allowing things when we are given free will, instead of asking why the perpetrators are perpetrating these horrible things? We live in a fallen world, and we are given free will. And that's just kind of the things that come about. I mean, if we do that, we're just going to backtrack and backtrack and backtrack, if you think about it, because it all goes back to the original sin, if you will, right? And it's hard when we think about it. You know, I understand where atheists are coming from, and if you put yourself in the position of somebody that doesn't have the belief and the peace and the grace that we have, I could understand being like, why do they even believe in a God who would allow this to happen? But when you're in your word and you have the Holy Spirit, you know, it's It's just clearly seen. Well, as awful as it was, abortion is a greater crime against humanity and against God. And do you know something like 1/3 of Gen Z or Gen Alpha, I can't remember which, I think it's Gen Z, is missing? There should be like 1/3 more people in that generation. That's how many abortions there are. And I mean, there's a lot of atrocities. We're living in a time right now with the stuff that's going on, and things that you don't want in your head, things that we don't even know about. When the Bible says, you know, everybody wants to say, oh, this is happening, you know, it's the tribulation, this is coming, everything. It can get so much worse. And we're starting to get little bits of that coming through now. Yeah, I believe we are the only ones that allow things to happen. God has to let the world. Yeah, exactly. CBG says there were also many believers who also hid Jews in Germany. Yes. I mean, and I think there were some people who weren't even necessarily believers or, you know, who did the same. But yeah, I mean, it was horrible, horrible, horrible thing. And it slays me that there's people that don't even believe it happened. But if we start tracking it backwards, it's first going to come to, well, why didn't God's people do this? And why didn't God's people do that? And then all the way back to, why did Eve eat that apple? You know, it wasn't an apple, but you know what I mean? So, and I understand that asking the questions, you know, when you're not a believer, but I do feel like it's kind of a dangerous path to propose those questions as a believer. It's, you gotta take every thought captive, test it against the word, and pray and ask God, you know, the things that you need to know. And because if we're asking those same questions, I'm just not sure that's a real great witness. I mean, here, obviously it's great. This is a Christian stream and we love to have conversation. I would just be careful about that in, I don't know, mixed company. But you can come at it from a position of, I understand where you would be wondering that, why you would ask those questions, you know? But most of the time, people that do ask those questions, they don't really want an answer. They think it's their gotcha, you know? Reading the comments. Yes, poor babies. It's an awful lot of abortions, Scott. Yes. A lot and a lot and a lot. It's heartbreaking. It's a form of sacrifice. You know, people may not want to call it Moloch, may not want to call it passing your child through the fire or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that it is a sacrifice, whether it's to the God of, I don't know, fear, to the God of convenience, to the God of whatever the case may be. It's still a sacrifice. Let's see, true, lots of them are gotcha type questions. I still think they're very important if you're trying to find an actual answer. I agree. I definitely agree. And that's where it's important to have a community. And that's why I've been trying to build up my Discord and my community here on YouTube, because iron sharpens iron, right? And those who are more mature in their faith should be helping the baby Christians, or along in their walk with God. So if you're not in the Discord, you ought to join us over there. We have all sorts of different channels. You can ask for prayer. We can talk. We even do movie nights now. We watched the Passion of the Christ last Friday. That was the first time I had seen it. And that was, oh my goodness, that was hard to watch. And if you think about it, also, since we're on the topic of the crucifixion, God gave his only son to die on a cross for us. Why would he let that happen? Because he loves us that much, right? As it's not always God letting something happen because there's no purpose behind it. It never is for no purpose, but sometimes you can actually see and understand. I'm not even sure if I'm making sense. So I am going to be reading, I think I said I was going to go to chapter 20, but my eyes are getting real heavy. So I'm going to read chapter 19 and then call it for tonight. So let me take a drink real quick and I will finish up. Oh no, I'm down to just the foam on my Lotus. Do you have the U Bible app, BG? Because on there, they have a lot of really great Bible studies. And I think it's been a while since I looked through the studies, but I think I remember seeing one on there that was called something like, why does God let this or that happen? So you might check on there and see too. I'll look it up too and link it over in the Discord. Okay. Welcome to those just coming in. If anybody needs prayer, please don't hesitate to ask. And this is Leviticus chapter 19. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to all the congregation of the sons of Israel and say to them, You shall be holy, for I, the Lord your God, am holy. Every one of you shall reverence his mother and his father, and you shall keep my Sabbaths. I am the Lord your God. Do not turn to idols or make for yourselves molten gods. I am the Lord your God. Now when you offer a sacrifice of peace offerings to the Lord, you shall offer it so that you may be accepted. It shall be eaten the same day you offer it, and the next day, but what remains until the third day shall be burned with fire. So if it is eaten at all on the third day, it is an offense. It will not be accepted. Everyone who eats it will bear his iniquity, for he has profaned the holy thing of the Lord, and that person shall be cut off from his people. Now when you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not reap to the very corners of your field, nor shall you gather the gleanings of your harvest, nor shall you glean your vineyard, nor shall you gather the fallen fruit of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the needy and for the stranger. I am the Lord your God. You shall not steal, nor deal falsely, nor lie to one another. You shall not swear falsely by my name, so as to profane the name of your God. I am the Lord. You shall not oppress your neighbor, nor rob him. The wages of a hired man are not to remain with you all night until morning. You shall not curse a deaf man, nor place a stumbling block before the blind, but you shall revere your God. I am the Lord. You shall do no injustice in judgment. You shall not be partial to the poor, nor defer to the great, but you are to judge your neighbor fairly. You shall not go about as a slanderer among your people, and you are not to act against the life of your neighbor. I am the Lord. You shall not hate your fellow countrymen in your heart. You may surely reprove your neighbor, but shall not incur sin because of him. You shall not take vengeance, nor bear any grudge against the sons of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. You are to keep my statutes. You shall not breed together two kinds of your cattle. You shall not sow your field with two kinds of seed, nor wear a garment upon you of two kinds of material mixed together. Now, if a man lies carnally with a woman who is a slave acquired for another man, but who has in no way been redeemed nor given her freedom, there shall be punishment. They shall not, however, be put to death, because she was not free. He shall bring his guilt offering to the Lord to the doorway of the tent of meeting, a ram for a guilt offering. The priest shall also make atonement for him with the ram of the guilt offering before the Lord for his sin which he has committed, and the sin which he has committed will be forgiven him. When you enter the land and plant all kinds of trees for food, then you shall count their fruit as forbidden. 3 years it shall be forbidden to you. It shall not be eaten. But in the 4th year all its fruit shall be holy, an offering of praise to the Lord. In the 5th year you are to eat of its fruit, that its yield may increase for you. I am the Lord your God. You shall not eat anything with the blood, nor practice divination or soothsaying. You shall not round off the side growth of your heads, nor harm the edges of your beard. You shall not make any cuts in your body for the dead, nor make any tattoo marks on yourselves. I am the Lord. Do not profane your daughter by making her a harlot, so that the land will not fall to harlotry and the land become full of lewdness. You shall keep my Sabbaths and revere my sanctuary. I am the Lord. Do not turn to mediums or spiritists. Do not seek them out to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. You shall rise up before the gray-headed and honor the aged, and you shall revere your God. I am the Lord. When a stranger resides with you in your land, you shall not do him wrong. The stranger who resides with you shall be to you as the native among you, and you shall love him as yourself. For you were aliens in the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. You shall do no wrong in judgment, in measurement of weight or capacity. You shall have just balances, just weights, a just ephah, and a just hin. I am the Lord your God, who brought you out from the land of Egypt. You shall thus observe all my statutes and all my ordinances and do them. I am the Lord. And that was Leviticus chapter 19. Oh wow, a bunch of people popped in. God bless you. How is everybody doing tonight? That was the last chapter I'm reading for tonight, but if anybody needs prayer, I will wait just a couple minutes. Feel free to ask, and don't hesitate. I'm more than happy to pray for anybody who needs it. And I thank each of you for being here tonight. Yes, Mick, they do. Yep. It's like that poem, When I Lost My Daughter. It says something like, to shining eyes at rest, God broke my heart to prove he only takes the best, kind of thing. It's like Earth. They're too perfect for Earth, too beautiful for Earth, you know? It's a horrible, horrible atrocity is what it is. Well said. Are you talking to me? Because I felt like I was just all over the place there. You're welcome, Adam. I'm sorry I was out of breath for part of it and kind of just all over the place, a little out of it today. But I'm more than happy to do it. As long as there are people with ears to hear, I will be out here reading for you guys. You have a good night too. I love all of you. God bless. Bye-bye.